What's up, guys? This is Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the broader markets. And break down some big news that came out involving Tesla, which you should be watching for as time goes on. But just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I'm saying as financial advice. Anyways, Tesla's kind of flat right now, a bit in the red. We need to try to get back above 340 to bounce. And if we can't, we're still favoring downside a little bit more, despite the fact that the overall market is holding up very nicely and breaking towards all-time highs. So what's going on? Let's talk about this. As the saying goes, the market could remain irrational longer than you could remain solvent, which basically tells us that as much as we want to be logical, as much as we want to look at things from a different perspective, you have to remember that the market will do what it wants to do, whether you think it's logical or not. And the best thing to do is just not question it. Just play the price action in front of you and take advantage of opportunities in front of us, despite what ends up happening. So I say that because the CPI was not that great. CPI was flat when it comes to all items, month over month and year over year. Those pieces of data were okay, but core CPI was not good. This was above expectations at 3.1%. So we saw an increase in core CPI, and despite that, the market still rallies to new all-time highs. Tesla, however, is kind of weak right here. We got some negative news that came out. One thing worth mentioning is that Piero Landolfi, who is Tesla's director of service for North America, is going to be leaving the company after 9 years of hard work. So I just wish him the best nonetheless. But I just want to say that, with his time coming up, it's not the best of news. And then on top of this, the Chinese sales data came out, which is not the best. For the week of August 4th through the 10th, so for last week, they had about 13,400 insurance registrations. That is up 21% compared to last week, but it's also down 13.5% year over year. And when you look at the data like this, what you'll see is that for this quarter, the data is looking like a little bit better than what we saw during other quarters, but we're still a little bit weaker than what we saw in the quarters of last year. So it's like in the middle. So far, that's what the sales look like this quarter. And then if you look at the overall total sales, we're doing better than what we saw in the totality of Q1 of 2025 and Q2. But keep in mind that despite this quarter being a bit better, we're still not on track with beating what we saw in 2024 during some quarters. And we're going to see what else happens as time goes on. This is the total deliveries year to date, and we're still below 2023 and 2024 levels, but we're still above 2022 at least. So keep that in mind. That's what our data is suggesting, at least for Tesla. Now, with that being said, let's talk about the share prices. So if Tesla could reclaim 340, I want to see us get back above 340. We could try to go back up for 347, then break out. But we need to get back above 340 to have some hope for bulls. If you're a bear, you want to see us basically fill at 333. If that fails us, we have 330 for the gap fill and then lower levels coming. Overall, we're range bound between 333 and 340. We're stuck in the middle. So we could retest 340, come back down, kind of trade sideways for now. That's what Tesla's essentially doing. But until we hold above 340 to be bullish or a little bit more bullish, or if we lose 333 to turn back down, we're still stuck in the middle right now. Until one of those levels breaks, we're still stuck in the middle. And Tesla's just range bound, at least for the time being. Looking at the 5-minute time frame, you guys can see that's been kind of like choppy. We did see a bit of a sell-off, and then we've been shopping for the last 2 hours, just back and forth price action. We're trying to bounce a little bit, but we need to get back above 340 at least, and we're still kind of stuck for now, so keep that in mind. Tesla's a little bit weak compared to the markets. Tesla's a little bit in the red, despite the fact that SPY and the QQQ are breaking all-time highs. So overall, we're doing a good job on Tesla, at least holding the support. So we're not super bearish or bullish. We're just stuck in the middle. We're in the dead center, at least for now. However, SPY is looking very bullish. If we lose 638, we could be tipping back down to 635. But as long as we're above 638, we're looking for 640 to be our next target. And as long as we're above that, we're favoring 642 for new all-time highs on SPY, 642.5 or above. Right now, the setup looks bullish. Despite the rising wedge that was forming yesterday, it has been invalidated. And for now, we're just going to be following the price action and favor, once again, what we're seeing, at least for the time being. So we're looking pretty good. We're looking bullish. And for now, as long as we don't lose 640, we're looking for 642 to 643. On the QQQ, same thing. If we lose 575, I could turn more bearish. We could be dipping back down to 572. But as long as we're above 576, we're favoring 578 and 580 as our targets. We're still looking bullish on the triple Q. The IWM is looking more bullish. We need to essentially lose 222 to turn back down. As long as we're above that, we're going to be favoring 225 to 227. We still look more bullish. ES is looking more bullish. We have an upwards channel. We need to lose essentially 64.25 to turn back down. As long as we're above that, we're favoring the all-time high and an attempt to get back up towards like 64.60, then eventually 64.80 or above. We look more bullish. NQ needs to lose essentially 23,600 to turn back down. As long as we're above this, we're favoring 23,900 and then eventually 24,000. We look more bullish here. Bitcoin is looking bullish as long as we don't lose 118,000. We're favoring 120,000 plus. Tesla, like I said before, it's completely range bound between supply and demand, not really doing a whole lot. Nvda is kind of flat right here. We have resistance around this 185 area and support at 181. If we lose 181, we could be dipping to 178. We're kind of range bound right now. We're going to likely trade sideways, but we could be trying to push higher. We've also attempted to invalidate this rising wedge. So for now, we're still looking a bit more bullish. We'll see if this wedge pans out, but as long as we don't lose 180, we're favoring 185 all over again. Aapl looks more bullish. If we lose 225, we could turn back down to 222. But as long as we hold this, we're looking for the 230s. 232.5, for example, is very possible to be tested. For Palantir, as long as we don't lose 179 to 180, we're favoring a 188 retest, looking quite good. AMD is trying to break out. We have an inverse head and shoulders like structure. If we could break 178, we're looking for an attempt for the 180s, 184 plus. Also have a potential bull flag here, so that could lead to more upside for the 180s, so keep that in mind. Coinbase is looking quite good here. If we end up losing basically 320, we're going to turn back down, but we're favoring 329 to 335 as our targets. Inverse head and shoulders, and I think we could consolidate and start pushing for the 330s. Amazon's looking quite good here. We're consolidating. We have 220 as our main support and resistance around 224. We're stuck in the middle. We're just consolidating. We're not really doing much. Unless we get back above 222.6, we're just stuck in the middle. Meta is looking more bullish. So long as we don't lose 780. Resistance becoming support at 780. As long as that does not fail us, we're favoring 800 as our target. Google's looking more bullish. As long as we don't lose 200, we're looking in for 205. Microsoft is favoring 531, and overall, I think we're doing a great job at holding up. And the VIX is making lower highs again, so it's still looking more bearish. But we're going to see if we could try to base around 14.8 or not. But nonetheless, SPY and the QQQ are still looking bullish, favoring all-time highs. Whereas Tesla's kind of weak. We're below 340, which is not the best of signs. If we lose 333, we could be dipping back down to fill the gap here, but overall, we're just range bound. And Tesla's just trading sideways right now, so keep that in mind. There's not really a whole lot else that's going on. With that being said, I thank you for listening. Watch your levels just to be safe, and peace out.